Join me in the dark side of talking about Star Wars movies.
I feel like Darth Vader turning into Anakin Skywalker with my hair. I mean, he is Anakin Skywalker, but you know, pre-burnt Anakin Skywalker. Beautiful day, beautiful people. Before we get into my Star Wars ranking, this video is sponsored by Big Bad Toy Store. Click the link for so much more. Whether it's Star Wars Black Series, these awesome Darth Vader replica helmet, or Hot Toys figures, get all the latest Star Wars figures and more at Big Bad Toy Store. Link is in the description. May the 4th be with you, or by the time you see this, it's Revenge of the 5th. But in honor of Star Wars Day, or days, I figured it's about time I talk about my ranking for all the Star Wars theatrical films. So now talking about the Ewok movies, and we will be talking Ewoks, just not the movies. So before I get to my rankings, I just want to let you guys know that this is just my opinion, what Star Wars means to me, what the movies mean to me. Some of these movies are newer than others, obviously. A movie that I put really low on the list could be your top movie and vice versa. Let's rank all the Star Wars theatrical movies, starting from the worst to the best, in my opinion. Number 12, The Phantom Menace. Oh god. Man, we were all so hyped. Our first Star Wars movie in, 16 years? And it was going to tell the story before the original trilogy. We were so pumped, right? See a young Anakin Skywalker, young Obi-Wan Kenobi, the rise of what will be eventually the Empire and the dark side. And what do we get? Jar Jar. Oh, freaking Jar Jar. Phantom Menace isn't the worst movie of all time. It's definitely, if you're going to say, of any of the 12 Star Wars movies let's put on, I definitely wouldn't want to watch this, because even though I love Darth Maul, he is given so little screen time. So he only has 5 lines in the movie. Even though he's badass with the Duel of the Fates, winning one of the best Star Wars themes of all time, the way he goes out, at least during this time, because thank God for the Clone Wars, Darth Maul and Rebels, the Darth Maul got so much more to do. So thank you, Dave Filoni and Sam Witwer, for making Darth Maul way more badass post this movie. But really, I can't stand Jar Jar. The movie's boring. What happened, George? But like I said, I respect George Lucas, but when it comes to the prequels, man, not great movies at all. And Phantom Menace, Jar Jar, how boring it is my least favorite Star Wars film. Number 11, Attack of the Clones. Some people hate this movie more than Phantom Menace, however, because of the romance. However, I'm a sucker for romance, and yes, it is still awful dialogue. I still think it's way more entertaining. I love the sequences with the clones and Yoda fighting Count Dooku, and more entertainment in my eye. And even though the romance is so bad, even in Revenge of the Sith, once we get to that, it is still, I would rather hear Anakin say how much he hates sand than Jar Jar, like Misa Usa. And yeah, Jar Jar's in Attack of the Clones, but so much less. If you were to tell me Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, which one you want to watch, I will put Attack of the Clones over Phantom Menace. Now we're into the top 10, and number 10 is Solo, Han Solo. Why was this movie made? Even though this is not a bad movie, it's definitely better than those other prequel movies. I don't think it is a great Star Wars movie. The actors are all great, like Alden Ehrenreich or whatever, who plays young Han Solo. He did a great job. I love his scenes with Chewie. I love Donald Glover, Childish Gambino as Lando Calrissian. It's a movie that really didn't need to be made. I love Ron Howard, but I would have loved to see Chris Lord and Miller's take on Solo. It would have been so much better, I think. No offense to Ron Howard, I love his movies. I just think that the movie is very forgettable, and that's saying something with the cast that you have. It tries to explain every little thing Han Solo and the way he gets his name. It's like, why? Han Solo is a mysterious character, and he should remain that. It has some entertaining factors. It's a great cast. It's not terrible, it's just ultimately forgettable. Number 9, Star Wars The Clone Wars. I've seen all these movies in theaters, and it was cool to see an animated Star Wars movie, and it was our first one post the prequels, and it's still technically a prequel movie. It was our first introduction of Ahsoka and Captain Rex. Wasn't a big fan of Ahsoka at first. I thought, oh god, who's this girl? And the baby Jabba the Hutt, oh god. Even though baby Jabba, or whatever his name, Stinky, came first, Baby Yoda wins. all the way. It had some amazing action scenes. You saw clones getting killed. The animation was great. Not as great as like Disney Pixar animated films. It still had some great action set pieces. And even though it was a rocky start for the Clone Wars, I just watched the finale right before filming this. Oh my god, Star Wars The Clone Wars is one of the best things to come out of the post-George Lucas era Star Wars. And Ahsoka Tano and Captain Rex, and even what they did with Darth Maul, they just added so much depth to those characters. And even though that first season and this movie wasn't the best start for what would become a great series, it still showed that, you know, Star Wars can really tell some great stories, really filling out the blanks in between all these different eras. It's not the best of the Star Wars movies, had some great action set pieces, and I'm really happy that Ahsoka was introduced. Number 8, Rogue One. It has one of the best third acts ever in any Star Wars movie. I absolutely love it. Just the Battle of Scarif is just absolutely amazing. When Rogue One is trying to get the plans, the fact that all the main characters are killed off, like so many characters get killed off in the movie. Pretty much any character that's not in the original trilogy gets killed off. Gareth Edwards is an amazing action director. The action is so good. Mwah, so good. However, his dialogue, oh my god. Jyn Erso, yeah, she is awesome, but great actress. But it just like with George Lucas, of how he directs like great actors like Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor. And I just don't think his dialogue, you watch the 2014 Godzilla, it's the same thing. Like K2SO had more personality than all of the Rogue One members, and I hopefully they fix that with casting an Andor series. Just really sad to see so many great actors kind of be so bland. And once they get on Scarif, it just felt like the wars of Star Wars. And I could rewatch that third act over and over again, and that Darth Vader scene, oh my god, wow, it's just like so absolutely amazing. But the first two acts leading up to it doesn't have K2SO or Chirrut, Danny Yen's character. I'm just like, oh my god, this is so boring. That third act is absolutely amazing. Definitely the better of the Star Wars one-off movies. Number 7, Revenge of the Sith. Hands down the best prequel of the series. I don't think anyone will argue with me about that. Phantom Menace had a lot more hype, but I really think this one had the biggest hype because this laid the groundwork to what the original trilogy would be. We got to see everything. The fall of the Jedi, the rise of Palpatine, the birth of Luke and Leia, the Obi-Wan Anakin fight. That I had that in my mind for so many years, how it would play out, and that exceeded my expectations. I think went a little bit overboard at times, but it was just an epic fight. Some of the dialogue is, "You're so beautiful, it's only because I'm so in love." No, it's because I'm so in love. Oh my god. Even though some of that's like, it is still hands down so much better than Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace. The opening space battle is jaw-dropping. So many lightsaber battles. Just so many great moments in the movie. I absolutely love it. Even though the prequels leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, it just delivered so much what I wanted to see from the prequels. And the Darth Plagueis the Wise scene, oh my god, still is so great. I absolutely love Revenge of the Sith. Number 6, The Last Jedi. Oh boy, this movie. There's definitely two camps when it comes to The Last Jedi. People love this movie and people hate this movie. And I love this movie. Subverted expectations, especially coming off of The Force Awakens. But I think Rian Johnson, who I love him as a filmmaker and writer, I really love what they were trying to do of Rey coming from nobody and that Snoke gets killed off, and it was just something you didn't expect to see, and especially in a second Star Wars movie. So entertaining. I love all the characters like Rose, and so many great moments like with Rey and Luke together, and I really love seeing Luke fades away, like looking at the two sunsets. It had some amazing parts that I teared up, and that ending was just so amazing with the kid, and I really like that anyone could have the Force and Star Wars could be for everyone. And I really love that message. I know it gets a little retcon a little bit and the Rise of Skywalker. I still really love the movie. It's so entertaining. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and it divides a lot of Star Wars fans. I still really enjoyed The Last Jedi. Number 5, The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, this is the movie to end the Skywalker Saga. This movie, especially when I saw it in theaters, I teared up so much. What they did with Leia, just so many awesome moments. Yes, this movie definitely panders to Star Wars fans. Yes, this movie retcons a lot of things that people didn't like about The Last Jedi, and I love The Last Jedi. But JJ and then Rian Johnson, they both had two great visions of what a Star Wars trilogy could be. I just think the problem is that JJ starts one thing, Rian Johnson started another. He didn't like that. I'm gonna retcon that stuff, and then JJ retcons that. So that's the big problem with that. And even with that, there's just so many great moments in this movie. I love seeing all the new Force abilities with Rey. Here's all the different Jedi from Luke to Anakin to Ahsoka to Kanan. There's just so many cool moments that I love. I love all the new characters. Where they ended the series, it's really made me tear up and love Star Wars. Just like The Last Jedi, there's some people that hate this movie, but considering everything that the previous two Star Wars movies set up, I think they ended this movie as great as they could have, and I was really happy with the ending, and I'm actually going to watch it right after I film this video. Number 4, The Force Awakens. Oh my god, was I excited for this movie. This was the Star Wars movie I saw the most in theaters. I saw this movie I think like 9 or 10 times in theaters. Absolutely love this movie. It is so entertaining from start to finish. I love J.J. Abrams directing, and the storytelling in this movie was just so captivating to me. I was so on board with all the new characters. I love Rey, I love Finn, I love Kylo Ren. When you look at Adam Driver and Kylo Ren, especially in this movie, he had more development in this movie than definitely Darth Vader did in A New Hope. Kylo Ren, right below Darth Vader, is one of my favorite villains, especially Star Wars villains of all time. Just so many amazing moments, and with Harrison Ford as Han Solo, it made me love Star Wars again that the prequels didn't, because we're after such a big gap of Star Wars movies with going from the original trilogy to prequels, and watching Phantom Menace, I felt like, oh man, Star Wars isn't as great as I remembered. Whereas this one, I'm like, oh my god, it's Star Wars again, and really captured what I love about Star Wars and the new characters I really love. Comes to the new trilogy, this is one hands down my favorite of the three. Number 3, Star Wars A New Hope, or Star Wars, the movie that started it all. What can you say that hasn't been said about this movie? It was the start of the blockbuster. This and Jaws really just showed what blockbuster movies could be. George Lucas created a world that we're still talking about 43 years later, you guys. This movie just gave us so much that we are talking about the years to come. So many people have built their lives around Star Wars because of this movie. The introduction of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, Han Solo, Darth Vader. There's so many amazing moments, so much amazing lines in this movie that are still quoted to this day. So enjoyable. Brings you back to just how old you were when you first saw this movie. Just like an adventure, sci-fi, fantasy, everything you love about movies. A national treasure, and the Force is definitely strong with this movie. Number 2, The Empire Strikes Back. What? Yes, I know. Before we get into why I picked Return of the Jedi over Empire, The Empire Strikes Back is to everyone's favorite Star Wars movie of all time. And it's close. It is my second favorite. The big reason that we can talk about why we love Empire Strikes Back to like, oh, I'm your father, to I love you, I know, and do or do not, there is no try. Billion quotable lines. This is so many amazing things. The thing is, like, as much as I love Empire Strikes Back, the cliffhanger ending just makes it hard to be a standalone Star Wars movie. The first Star Wars movie, and even Return of the Jedi for the most part, you watch the first Star Wars movie, and if there wasn't any more Star Wars movies, it felt like a complete movie. Empire Strikes Back, if they ended just that and no Return of the Jedi, it would be like awful. It would be one of those movies that never gets a sequel that you're just so upset about. That's the only thing that keeps it. Still, what can you say about Empire Strikes Back? It is one of the most perfect movies, if not most perfect Star Wars movie. However, number 1, Return of the Jedi. Yes, this movie means so much to me. When I think of Star Wars, I think of Return of the Jedi. Is it because of the Ewoks? No, it's not just because of the Ewoks. I do love the Ewoks. Anyone that like hates on the Ewoks, come on, man. If you hate the Ewoks but you love Jar Jar, you are crazy. But anyway, I love everything about this movie from start to finish. From the Jabba Palace rescuing Han scene. It's so nice to see the adventure outside of just the Rebels versus Empire. Epic space battle where you have the Rebels against the Empire while Palpatine, oh my god, McDermott as Palpatine. Yes, we see more of him in the prequels and even as a Skywalker, but Palpatine is pure evil. He achieves the scenery and we love it. Good. It is so great. The reason I love Return of the Jedi is the conflict with Luke and Vader is just so amazing. It's absolutely why I love this movie so much. It's what Star Wars is about. The redemption of Anakin Skywalker, the conflict of Luke Skywalker. Is he gonna follow the path of his father and turn to the dark side, or is he gonna be better? This movie shows why I love Luke Skywalker and and Darth Vader, and just so many great scenes with Leia showing empowerment by killing the crime lord that puts her in a bikini. Han and Leia finally declaring their love. I mean, they did in Love You I Know, but the reverse of it I just love, and I just absolutely love this movie. If like I could only watch one Star Wars movie, and it was the only Star Wars movie, there was no more Star Wars movies, like we didn't get the new trilogy, it ended on this, it would be perfect. I absolutely love Return of the Jedi. If you love Empire over Return of the Jedi, or don't even think Return of the Jedi is even in your top 3, I understand, but to me, it is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. There you go, beautiful people. That is my ranking of all the theatrical Star Wars movies. What is your ranking? What would you rate them? Tell me in the comments below. I want to thank my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel and keeping it afloat. If you want to support the channel by even giving $1 a month, go to my Patreon at patreon.com/SeanXLong. I really appreciate it, and you will get credit in future videos. I want to thank my sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store. Click the link for so much more to get all your Star Wars Black Series, Hot Toys, figures, and more. Stay tuned for some awesome videos. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification key, like this video, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm Sean Long. Remember, live long and love life, and may the Force be with you always.
If you're not happy with my list, then you can choke on your aspirations.